AITA 4, ruining my daughter's life? So I 44M have a daughter who just turned 17. I own a caravan, which is left on a plot of land on a holiday park. I have owned it for around 5 years and we visit multiple times a year. Last year when she was 15, she didn't want to come down and go to the holiday park with the family, and I trusted her as a 15-year-old to be okay by herself for the weekend. Well, she was caught throwing a party at which the TV was smashed and the surround sound was broken due to someone spilling wine on it, and the carpet was the end of that. Now whenever we come down to the caravan she has to come with us. At first she hated it, and it was a huge ordeal to get her to come along, with a lot of sulky teenage girl behavior. Over time she warmed up to it though, and she seemed to really enjoy coming, even looking forward to it. Well, last weekend, while we were down, we were in a sports bar that we frequent on the resort, when a girl who works in the bar asked my daughter if she would be going to MS, that's his initial, house this weekend. My daughter looked horrified when she said this and she just said, "I don't know." She had just been outed. Well, when we get home I ask who the hell the guy is and when exactly she has been seeing him. Turns out that for the last 10 months she has been sneaking out the caravan when everyone else is in bed and seeing a guy who lives down there. Needless to say, she was in deep trouble. The next day we are in the sports bar again and I go up to order a drink and notice the name tag of a guy who's serving me my pint. I strike up a conversation with him and we make small talk. I ask him how old he is. He says 24. I am not yet certain if it's the same person or just a coincidence and don't want to jump to conclusions, so I quickly finish my drink and take everyone back to the caravan for a family meeting. When we get in I confiscate my daughter's phone, and this is in fact the guy she has been seeing. I go through their messages, and my worst fears are confirmed. They have been in a sexual relationship for months, beginning when she was 16. But what makes this story worse is my daughter has lied about her age. I see through their messages she has told the guy she is 20. I lose it at her and tell her how awful what she is doing is, etc. My wife is strangely quiet and I ask why she isn't saying anything. She admits that she knew my daughter had a crush on him, and had been encouraging her crush by pointing out the guy checking her out. And she even knew they had been texting. However, my daughter lied to my wife and told her he was 18. My wife claims that they had only spoken about the guy since this summer, when my daughter was 17. She also says she had no idea my daughter had been meeting the guy in secret, but this part 1 am currently unsure if I believe. Using her phone I ring the guy and explained the truth of the situation. To say he was horrified is an understatement. He apologized to me maybe 100x and has blocked my daughter. My daughter has lost her phone privileges, as I pay for it, and if she wants a new one she will be getting it herself. I am also going to sell the caravan. She has so far refused to speak to me other than to say I ruined her life over and over. I say this all starts and ends with her being untrustworthy. She lied to me and my wife by throwing a party, then she lied to the guy about her age, then she again lied to my wife about the guy's age, then she again lied to both of us by sneaking out every weekend. I told her I am ashamed and disgusted by her behavior as I didn't intend to raise a liar, and that she has pulled in and likely traumatized some innocent young man and could have even ruined his life by her own selfish lies. My wife thinks I'm being too hard on her, and that she's a teenage girl doing teenage girl things, and is worried about this permanently damaging my relationship with her. I think no way. I am horrified by her behavior. This is too much. AITA? Just to clear a few things up, as a lot of people are making repeat comments. 1. The punishment of forcing her along was only until the end of the summer last year, as we would be down there a lot then. At the end of the summer last year is when she developed the crush on the bartender, and decided to keep coming to ogle at him. We went down there again for the Christmas break and she asked for his number, and that's when their relationship begun. I did allow her to drink wine with our dinners a few times during the Christmas break, so I wonder if that contributed to her image of being 20. 2. My wife did not know his age. My wife noticed the two of them looking at each other and exchanging smiles a lot this summer, which is when she questioned my daughter about him. My daughter then confided in my wife that they had been texting this summer, and told her he was 18. My wife encouraged the relationship, and said she was happy my daughter had met a handsome young man, and was getting to experience a holiday romance. My wife also noticed a huge attitude improvement since they had been talking, so she thought it was a good thing. My wife has been devastated upon finding out she had been encouraging the relationship. Now she knows the truth of the matter. 3. I am sure the guy did not know her age. Trust me, things would have gone very differently if not. You are all free to make your assumptions all you want. But you forget I know my daughter and what she looks like, as well as reading their conversations. My daughter is 5 feet 8 inches, which is tall for her age and women in general. She has a passion for makeup and does hair and beauty at college. It is not a stretch to believe she is actually 3 years older. Especially when you add the lies I myself read her send to him. Lying about being in university, lying about losing her ID when being invited to a club, lying about living alone at university, etc., etc., etc. The fact my daughter was begging me while crying not to tell him her real age is a dead giveaway. For we are not American. We are from the UK. No statutory rope occurred. The guy isn't and wouldn't be in any legal trouble if this came out. But it would likely ruin his life regardless. A 24-year-old sleeping with a 16-17-year-old is hugely not okay over here. It is generally understood that the low AOC here is so that teenagers can sleep with other teenagers. And even then a 19 and a 16-year-old would still be frowned upon. A 24-year-old would be seen as a predator and ostracized for this. Please do not shame my daughter. It is perfectly acceptable for a girl her age to have crushes, date, and have sex. Just with people her own age. Please do not make the mistake of thinking for a second you know the situation better than me, or have my daughter's best interest at heart more than me. Thank you. Update. So I have today taken on a lot of feedback and decided to go back and talk to my wife. During the conversation my wife admitted that there was times she knew my daughter was going out and meeting him, and that she had made her download Life 360 to do so. She claims that she picked up on it toward the end of the summer, after catching my daughter trying to leave the caravan in the dead of night. I told her no wonder where our daughter gets her habit of lying from. Because of this revelation I have decided I will be giving my daughter back her phone. It is not fair to punish her for something she was actually given permission to do. Me and my wife had a big fallout, as I said that if she is going to go behind my back and make decisions unilaterally she at least owes it to my daughter and myself to do the due diligence to make sure that everything is above board and safe. My wife has been very apologetic, but despite her pleading me not to go I have gone to stay in a hotel for a few days as I cannot even look at her right now. My wife claims that the reason she didn't inform me is that my daughter begged her not to, as she was embarrassed about the idea of me knowing she is having sex. I'm not an idiot. I assumed my daughter had probably had sex, or at least experimented. Hell, I was the one who suggested to my wife we look into BC for her at 16. I don't care what she does as long as she's safe and responsible. I spoke to my daughter and told her that even though I'm disappointed in her, I love her. She tells me she was in love. I say love is meaningless if it's built on a lie, which is why I'm leaving for a few days. She seemed to understand this, at least I hope. We hugged, she cried some and then I left. I don't know if I will update this again. I don't know if there is much else to say. I'm just gonna relax and play some pool I think. I don't have work until Monday so I will probably return sometime Sunday. I feel like this whole thing is gonna give me an aneurysm.